And now let's break down our next story of the day. And the Winklevoss Twins on a spot Bitcoin ETF continuously being basically denied and kicked back and pushed back for the past decade. And then we're going to dive into their $500,000 Bitcoin price prediction and why they're so confident that the Bitcoin price is going to hit their big target. So here we go. Let's discuss them with the SEC first. This was a story which was let's see when their tweet was actually. Let's scroll down. This is Cameron Winklevoss. This was actually on July 1st. It got 1.1 million views. Now let me read the tweet. Today marks 10 years since Tyler and I filed for the first spot Bitcoin ETF. That's right, over a decade ago. The SEC governor's refusal to approve these products for a decade has been a complete and utter disaster for U.S. investors and demonstrates how the SEC is a failed regulator. Here's why. They protected investors from the best performing asset of the last decade. They pushed investors into toxic products like the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, which trades at a massive discount to NAV and charges astronomical fees. They pushed spot Bitcoin activity offshore to unlicensed and unregulated venues. They pushed investors into the arms of FTX, subjecting them to one of the largest financial frauds in modern history. Preach. Maybe the SEC will reflect on its dismal record, and instead of overstepping its statutory power and trying to act like a gatekeeper of economic life, it'll focus on fulfilling its mandate of investor protection, fostering fair and orderly markets, and facilitating capital formation. This would have led to much better outcomes for U.S. investors. Preach. In the meantime, best of luck to all those fighting the good fight to bring the U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs to life. Onwards. So much respect. I mean, 10 years of denying this ETF. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I think they shared perfectly some of the reasoning. It's to hurt the investors and keep you poor and keep you wrecked and keep you desolate and dependent upon a broken government that threw us overboard so freaking long ago. So much respect to the Winklevoss Twins. If you didn't know, they're the owners of the Gemini Exchange, and they were the very first ever to submit the spot Bitcoin ETF app to the SEC over a decade ago. And obviously they're sick and tired of Gary Gensler, his no clarity, and his shenanigans, just like the rest of us. It's time to fire Gensler. If you think Gensler should be investigated and potentially fired, let me know in the comments right down below, and I'll be reading your comments out loud here in a little bit. Now for our breaking story of the day, let's discuss the Winklevoss Twins and their case for a $500,000 Bitcoin price, which they believe is coming soon. So let's break this down, shall we? And welcome to y'all just joining us in the live chat. Much love and much respect. So here we go. Winklevoss Twins' prediction: Bitcoin will soon hit $500,000 per coin, and why? And again, shout out to Tyler and Cameron. We already know their background: early Bitcoin investors, OGs, early investors as well with Facebook. Some claim that they're the real creators of Facebook and Zuckerberg stole it. But nonetheless, in a recent interview with the National News, the twins explained they remain convinced of the future of crypto. The main reason is the revolutionary and technical properties, as well as the potential of Bitcoin to act as a store of value, similar to gold. And in addition, crypto has many other advantages, mainly through programmability. Hence, the Winklevoss brothers believe that Bitcoin could even replace the precious metal in the long term. Tyler Winklevoss shared the following: if you look at the properties that make gold valuable, Bitcoin matches each attribute or does better. The gold disruption story of Bitcoin is super powerful. We believe in it. Tyler Winklevoss explained his reasoning for the $500,000 Bitcoin price action, quoting him here: if you do the math, 21 million in the supply of Bitcoin, the market cap of gold, let's say it's 10 trillion, maybe it's 11 trillion, somewhere in that ballpark. That puts one Bitcoin, if it disrupts gold, and gets that market cap at $500,000 per coin. The two brothers did not want to give specific investment tips. However, Cameron reveals the strategy that they use, which is generally the simplest, which is simply hodl, hold on for dear life, quoting him here. Generally speaking, if you subscribe to Bitcoin being a store value type investment, then that strategy is hodl. Hodl. The same way you would hodl gold is you buy and hodl long-term long-term investments. So according to the Winklevoss Twins predicting the Bitcoin price will hit 500,000, they say predictions are difficult, but they believe that Bitcoin will hit the milestone within a decade. And when they were more recently interviewed and asked, where do you see Bitcoin in 5 years' time? Here's what Cameron Winklevoss responded. We usually take a decade view on it. When we wrote a piece on the value that predicted it being $500,000 Bitcoin, we said within the decade. And I believe they wrote that in 2020. So they're basically saying by the year 2030, they're anticipating a $500,000 plus Bitcoin price, with Bitcoin overtaking that of gold as far as the market cap. Now, is that in 3 years from now or 9 years? The timing part is hard, but I think the Bitcoin created $1 trillion worth of value in under a decade. That is fact. I believe back in November of 2021, Bitcoin's market cap surpassed the $1 trillion milestone, and the total crypto market cap surpassed $3 trillion. But as of today, we're closer to a $500 billion Bitcoin market cap, with the entire crypto market cap down to $1 trillion. Now, it also spawned many huge predictions, such as Ethereum and the entire asset class. He continues, if you look at the value increases in Bitcoin, it is this punctuated equilibrium where it is steady, 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 and then boom, it reaches a new price level. This is the new normal, so it can happen very quickly. So there you have it, fam. They're ultimately saying when Bitcoin takes off, it explodes quick and fast. And especially considering we got two of the most bullish catalysts in Bitcoin history we're on the cusp of. 6 months away from a Bitcoin halving. We all know the Bitcoin cycles. Every 4 years, it drives the Bitcoin price up as it increases the scarcity as well as increased demand. Basic stock to flow, numbers must go up. And we also have the approval of a Bitcoin ETF likely to take place in 2024, especially with Congress on Gensler's butt. We also have the ETF experts such as Eric Balchunas given a 95% chance probability that a spot Bitcoin ETF likely get approved in 2024. Those two catalysts will absolutely make Bitcoin rip to new all-time highs, entering price discovery mode like we have never seen before. So how high do you think the Bitcoin price will likely climb by the time of this next halving? Roughly 6 months out, scheduled to take place sometime in April of next year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. And if you gain value out of today's episode, be sure to smash that like button as it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. And as you can see, we're pumping. We're going to continue this live. We're currently trading at 27,200. Let's see if we can hit 28,000 before the end of the live stream.